Welcome to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I am your host, Carmen McLeod. I am traveling the world as an artist and tour guide, and along the way I am documenting my journey of personal development, self-reflection, and spiritual growth. Through my stories, I hope to inspire you to create the life of your dreams and remind you how powerful you truly are in this world. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of transcendent transformation. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining once again. I'm really excited to bring you another interview. There's going to be plenty more interviews. I'm so blessed to have been able to talk with so many beautiful people over the last few weeks. And another one coming to you. So Terry Ford, I met him through my friend Kelsey. She was on my podcast a few weeks ago. Terry Ford is a chef, herbalist, and farmer, and he has got a really powerful message to share and a really beautiful vision for his life and for the world, and I'm really excited for you to hear what he's got to say. And, I think his biggest message would be to return people back to nature. Because, you know what, I'll let you hear. I won't say any more on that. But he's a really powerful individual. I barely even know him, or I barely knew him before having him on here. Now I feel like I know him really well. But I just knew right from meeting him one time that he's in alignment with the podcast, and he's got the right vibration, and he is going to plant beautiful seeds of hope and wonder in all of you in so many ways. So I'm really excited for you to get to know him. So enjoy, let us know what you think. I'm really excited to have you here, and I'm gonna ask before I get you to tell us about your story, what is your intention for this episode?
My intentions are to express the depths of who I am in the hopes that someone out there will resonate with my journey and will have the permission slip to more easily and effortlessly navigate their own journey.
Beautiful. Excellent. Something that I wrote down for an intention that I want to bring as well is for me is to bring attention to the power of food on our mind, body, and soul, because I know that's really a huge part of what you do, and I'm really excited to hear I've been way more excited to hear about the story that goes along with that, how you got to that point in your life. What brought you to where you are now? That's where all the juice comes from. It was like, what was breakthroughs and breakdowns that led you to be where you are now? I want to hear all of it. No time constraints. Tell me everything. Yeah. But first off, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your journey?
Yeah, I might really easily segue into that really quickly. But my name is Terry Ford. I reside currently for a little bit of time now on the Big Island of Hawaii for the last 3 years. I am a chef, herbalist, life coach, amp man, a good friend, and so much more, gardener, and so much more. I talk so much about returning to nature because nature has so much of the answers for us and for free. Yeah. That's just a little snippet of who I am, and where do we start?
That's beautiful elevator pitch, like 10 out of 10. Do you want to just tell us tell us how you got here? Any key points in your life that's brought you to where you are now? Spare no details.
I think I guess the biggest key point is a lot of times not really listening to myself and my path, and I kind of ended in really interesting situations. But through that, I got a chance to define who and what I really wanted in my life. So, for instance, right out of college, I had a choice: where do I want to go after college? And I ended up in South Carolina, and I didn't go to school in South Carolina, but I ended up in South Carolina just following friends and family and stuff. And I went there to start my culinary journey. And I thought it was a good idea for, in my great wisdom to work at a prison to be a great resume builder. I don't know. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good resume builder. Yeah, right. Well, I probably say it's a lot. Long story short, but I'll make it more long. It's just maybe a catchphrase I use. I went there for an interview and wanted to say I want to run the cafeteria, and somehow I got co like convinced and coerced into actually not running the cafeteria, but being a correctional guard. And somehow I walked out a correctional guard instead of. I was like, wait, what happened?
Oh my
So that was
gosh.
a very interesting part of my life. Being a guard at like minimum security prison. It was like have you ever seen the show Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
It was just like that. It was like really like it was very interesting. The stories I could say and tell you from this institution. But I did get a chance to see how people were being treated in there. I did get to truly see the food they were eating. And like they were farming there too, but they didn't get a chance to eat any of the foods. Like, so I got to
Mm-hmm.
see firsthand of the disparity around food and mentality, I would say too, about them releasing people that they knew they were going to come back because the system, they know they're going to come back, and the people that they know they're not coming back, they hold them there. So I
Wow.
got to see a lot of interesting scenarios around like the system
Mm-hmm.
and food. It was very powerful. And that really got a chance to more define like, well, I never want to be in a situation like this where I can't choose my food and food is so powerful and food can be a mood elevator or a mood, uh, like, suppressor. So that was a very interesting noticing point along my journey, even though I would say, did I choose the right scenario? Who knows? Yes or no? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one really benchmark on my path. And yeah, interject whenever you want to. I'm usually actually the one asking questions, so it's like it's very interesting me just talking.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, it's
for
very
sure.
interesting. So after a year or so of being locked up in a prison, even though I got paid for it, but locked up in a prison, and got a chance to really learn how to talk to people as people. You know, people say they're prisoners, but like they're just there's nothing wrong. There's nothing different between you, me, and them. Is they got caught and you didn't. For minimum security prison, the most things is stuff that you've probably done too yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, and I got a chance to like really talk to people and learn to de-escalate people and their emotional states and really just like not being seen or heard or their emotions are just like they're not have control of their emotions and learn to really talk to people and see people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really as I talk about it, I'm really seeing how I've grown since then. So that was very insightful scenario. And after I left, I had another crossroads once again
Mm-hmm.
to do one way or the other. And one path was leading me to California to go trim. And at the time, back in 2004 or five, something like that. No, it couldn't be 2007, I think. Um, to go trim. And at that time, I didn't know that was a real thing. I was like, whoa, that sounds sketchy. I'm not doing that. And my
Mm-hmm.
friend was saying like, well, hey, come up to back to Indiana, where I'm originally from, to work in a factory. Guaranteed all this money, all these things. And it's interesting because that's not what I wanted. But I had a story of my mom worked in a factory and this story, like, oh, that makes more sense. And even though I probably would have had a fun time in California and really just discovering who I am as a person, I acknowledge that story of what I've been raised on. Like, oh, okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
what you do. You know, you want to make money, you go to a factory, yada, yada, yada.
Mm.
And so I went that route once again. Which what road did I what road was beneficial for me? So I would actually say, yeah, it was a very tough road. I would say that. I quickly realized that the working conditions in this place was very, very low. Like, the people, the energy was just really heavy. Everybody that was there told themselves they had to do this. It was nothing I want to do this. They're doing this because of family. They're doing this because of this, X, Y, and Z. So it's like out of like survival mode
Mm.
energy. Um, the actual air quality of the factory was very low. It was very actually poisonous, you would say, of
Mm.
the chemicals being sprayed. Just yeah, just the working day, no days off throughout the whole week, working all the time, all the time, like 80 hours, maybe plus a week.
Mm.
And yeah, so that was interesting because then I quickly got a chance to define what I wanted. And I'll never forget because I quickly defined I need clean air. I need clean water, but it wasn't there. I need shirt, shoes optional. Because I had all this whole gear on. It was so hot, so sweaty. Yeah, I wanted the best food possible. And that was definitely a noticing moment for myself. Like I was like, what do I want? And
Mm.
I, teacher that I follow, Abraham Hicks, says, do you know who Abraham Hicks is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. I love her. And
Yes.
so she says, when you don't want, you instantly know what you do want because it's the opposite
Mm.
of that.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I know what I want now. And right before that, there was like a really like energetic path moment when I noticed a elderly lady and she was at the end of her ropes. Like I think she had a type of cancer. Her health was declining. All her medical time was gone, so she couldn't leave. She could leave at a certain time of day, but she had to stay there until a certain time. Her husband was couldn't work. She like was stuck,
Mm.
and I felt so emotional, energetic connection to her, and seeing that, I just said no, that will not be me. And that was the exact moment I still remember that I'm like, nope, yeah, can't do that.
Mm.
So that's when I started making moves, choices to uplift what I wanted, and that didn't mean leave that job right away. It actually was, you know, really grounded. I started learning about health. I started changing my diet. I started bringing different foods into work. And even though everybody would make fun of me, like, whoa, what is that? What is that green thing you're drinking? I was like, oh, it's swamp juice. I just have fun with it because I am a
Yeah.
naturally uplifting person. Like to me, things don't really get to me at all. Like, what's that stuff? Oh, it's bird food. Because I know that's what they're saying already. Like, hey, yeah, it's bird food. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
some granola here. I got some fruits and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
And I would offer people some kombucha that I would make, even though it's interesting because the one woman I did offer to, I forgot how powerful it is if you're not on a good, clean diet. She was like, dude, I've been in the bathroom for an hour and a half. I'm like, whoa, whoops. Um, so like even in that scenario, I did find fun. I did find laughter in any situation, and I really do tell anybody you can bloom wherever you're planted. You might not thrive, but you can bloom wherever you're planted.
I love that.
So yeah, and I think a big, huge noticing moment that you would think that would be like, oh, Terry's almost out of there, but actually it's just getting worse, actually. At least I had a roadmap. So in that time where I was at the factory, I met somebody at the not at the factory, but during the factory. I didn't have discernment. This is what taught me discernment in a really strong way. So met someone online dating, first time ever online dating.
Mm.
And I'll spare you the details, but within a month or so, she said that she's pregnant. I was like, whoa, oh, okay, all right. Okay, well, I guess come live with me, whatever. I'll make sure everything's right. I'm a man.
Mm.
We'll get things. You're gonna be okay. Whatever. So I will, yeah, I will go through the little details because it gets really funny and crazy at the same sense. But uh, when my brother sees the ultrasound, somehow in his wisdom, he looks it up online. He You can drop photos into Google, and it comes up as a stock image from like years before. And
Oh my gosh.
so yeah, that's when the whole really crazy stuff started to happen in that. And yeah, I don't want to like bash anybody on the internet, but that taught me so much discernment, like in a very tangible way of like really listening to people, if their story checks out, are they consistent? Just learning to like really feel in somebody and really just see who they are, you know? And now I'm very good at that. I'm very good at just like, if you open your mouth, I just know you, what kind of person you are. So
Mm.
these conflicts, people might say, have taught me such an amazing thing, like almost a superpower
Mm.
of I am now that I went through these tough times. So eventually, of course, I get out of the factory and I just sell all my things, which is the most beautiful thing in the world. If you find, um, if you find purpose in things, I would, I would hopefully inspire you to at least one time sell all your stuff, give it all
Mm.
away to somebody that needs it, and notice how you feel. Because for me, when did that, I felt so light, so free, so abundant.
Mm.
It's something that I wish everybody could experience, actually. And so, yeah, I sold all my stuff and got a chance to really experience that and just like telling everybody I'm going to Hawaii for a long time. No one believed me. Like, all right, Terry, we'll see you tomorrow, right? Whatever joke. Like, we'll see you. You get back to work, Terry. And because I was so excited about going to Hawaii for the longest time, I would always talk at the factory, like, I'm going to Hawaii. I can't wait when I'm in Hawaii. Like, whatever, Terry.
Mm.
And that day that I was walking out of that factory was the most blissful moment. And then selling all my stuff. Like, I haven't even got to Hawaii. And that's what I didn't tell you about. That's what came through when I really defined what I wanted. Hawaii came up.
Mm.
Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii. I didn't know why. I'd never even been to Hawaii. But Hawaii always came up. And yeah, when I really made those moves and all that time preparing, like preparing for that move, it was all coming to fruition. And it was like a dream. Like it was literally like
Mm.
a movie set, walking out, clocking out, going home,
Mm.
packing all my stuff. Even though I packed up in a blizzard, that was hilarious because, uh, trying to pack up in a apartment complex and you're in the third story all by yourself. But I was happy though. I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, driving to see my mom to kind of put some stuff in storage and get on a plane. And that was like the biggest, like that time period I just said, that was the biggest, like hardest moments, perceived moments in my life that quickly defined nutrition, discernment, what is abundance? What
Mm.
is like, is money truly something that gives you value? I do say it is a small part of our society, but it's a very small part, I would say.
Mm.
Um, Being free, not being tied down to things that you're not really invested in
Mm.
are all those things that really started to like I knew in a way. It's interesting when you like know something on like a surface level, but when you like have a really emotional time with something, um, you have a new understanding of how powerful it can be in your life.
Mm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a difference between knowing something and actually embodying that thing. It's a whole
Yes,
nother
yes.
level. And I think
Hmm.
as soon as you take the steps to move in that direction of where you're being called, that's when everything opens up. And I love to
Hmm.
hear, of course, I'm not surprised at all. As soon as you decided, okay, I'm leaving this life. Boom, Hawaii, Hawaii pops up everywhere. Like that's just how it goes. That's how the law of attraction works. It's just everything just aligns itself perfectly for you. And it's
Hmm.
brought you to have some incredible experiences in Hawaii, which I really want to talk more about. Like, how long have you been in Hawaii? You're still there and you're leaving very soon, right?
Very
And
soon. Yeah.
yeah, so I just want to, yeah, can you tell us anything about your experience in Hawaii? What's been the most impactful part of this journey through this part of your life?
Okay. I will first, like, so in total it's been like 4 years, but like the first year I came to Hawaii was for a full year, and then I left to go, like, cause my brother was getting married. So I
Mm,
had to attend that, and I ended up being gone like another year, and then I came back, and then now I'm here for 3 years. So yeah, it's been very an important chapter in my life. It's one of those defining moments of who I am, in a beautiful way. Uh, they say you can wash up on the rocks on the Big Island or on the sand, and
wow.
that's because the energy is so powerful, but it is a reflection of who you are and what's going on inside you.
Mm,
Most of the time, when you get a chance to wash up on the sand of Hawaii, that means you're open, you're receptive to the lessons. And when you wash up on the rocks, you're not receptive. And the island is trying to show you what you need to work on, what you need to heal. Those parts. It's for your own benefit, but some people, they don't want to see it. They want to hear it.
mm,
And
wow.
I'm lucky enough to be open. And from the first time I stepped on foot on this island, one of my first ohanas was like, listen, slow
Mm,
down and listen. Those two words, like not two words, but two phrases, slow down and listen. And I'm glad I did listen because it's been really just a opening, um, over and over and over again. When things get a little like rocky, I just slow down and listen. And then it always just comes and it really expands into what I need to know about a situation.
mm,
So yeah, slow down and listening, like the community aspect. I really never felt at home per se in Indiana where I grew up at. It was
mm,
wasn't home.
yeah.
But this is the first home that I really felt connected right when I actually stepped foot on the land. I'm like, whoa, it is a very energetic place for those that, are sensitive to that. Um, yeah, and building community. And these are the things now on the opposite side, I was defining myself through struggle, which is beautiful. In this chapter, I was defining myself with like really beautiful, it did feel good things that I have defined myself. Like, so slowing down and listening, um, community, family, connecting to actually a part of a land. Of course, and more so the food aspect, in which on where I was at a yoga retreat center. Shout outs
Mm,
to Kripal Meditation Retreat Center. It's an amazing place. I would say I even met beautiful people that you know there.
mm,
I got a chance to really step into my gifts, which I am a chef by trade. And to cook for people, to nourish people from the land, and truly to see people get nourished and loved over and over and over again, and see the tangible like act of me creating with my gift and seeing people heal people like on a tangible level. I got a chance to see over and over again for 3 years. It really has ingrained that in me. I'm like, whoa, I have something to give. That self-worth really has elevated. Like, oh, my gift is this. So yeah, those are just a few of the things that I've really like have defined me, even though we're all undefinable, as really like are cornerstones of who I am. I acknowledge myself is today. Yeah.
wow. Powerful, powerful stuff. Oh my goodness. So, do you want to elaborate more about so you're a chef, you're an herbalist and a farmer. So did these all three come like these jobs all kind of began for you as soon as you arrived in Hawaii? Do you want to talk more about like the herbalist side of things? I'd like to hear more about that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So those are all these things are something that I was already playing around with for a while. But then actively when I'm coming into the island, like, asked me, hey, do you want to use these gifts? Like I did not use them back in Indiana. I was in a factory. I had them, had all of them. So there was lots of herbs everywhere but no one knew how or what to even use them. So I was like, whoa, these are these tropical plants that I've been reading about in books and no one's using them. I'm like, holy crap. So I had an opportunity to educate people. I had an opportunity to use them in teas every day and like create blends and medicinal like fire cider is one. I don't know if you know what fire cider is, but fire cider is a immune boosting tonic. And it's has just to say a little ingredients, ginger, turmeric, garlic, onions, spicy peppers, raw honey, and apple cider vinegar, and some citrus, some like maybe lemons or oranges. So to really boost the immune system. And when COVID was happening, even though we didn't know really a lot about it, people were so happy that I was making this medicine for people and it was helping them too. Like
Mm.
stay strong. So I was like, whoa, and there's another gift. Like I saw like, whoa, this is so valuable. And I did this for my community. And yeah, a lot of herbal teas every day, every morning. I got a chance to create for people and like educate people about that. And yeah, just really the education piece and crafting things was beautiful.
Mm.
So that was the herbalist side.
Mhm.
And a lot right with that, there was beautiful gardens I helped craft. And I
Mm.
got a chance to pull the food and help grow the food and educate people how to grow food for the kitchen, for all the herbs and culinary herbs and the kales and the peppers and all the things. That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. You are living my mom's dream, by the way. I told her how excited she's going to be to hear this episode. Like all three of these things. Oh, she's going to listen to
Mm.
this and she's probably just going to quit her life and leave. And
Is she
uh,
an aspiring herbalist and gardener?
she's a gardener. She's always been gardening at the house, and she's a chef, has her own
Oh,
restaurant. So she's incredibly
oh,
happy doing
cool.
she's very happy doing what she's doing. But I told her, I'm like, like Terry's living the life that you need to be living. Like that this is really what's meant for you. I know you're really happy, but this is the life for you. Eventually I think she's gonna do what you're doing.
Oh,
Um,
I hope that so much for her. Those are the stories
yeah,
that I really like hope these people to speak to. And
totally.
where was I at? Um, a lot of people a lot of chefs don't know that it's possible. Some people just say like, I have to work in a restaurant. And some people, that's right for them. Some people, it's really not, and they like kind of resent their passion.
Hmm.
Um, so there's so many infinite possibilities in being a chef that you can really go along lines. And for me personally, like retreat chefs, what I was doing at the retreat center is doing retreats and then cooking for work traders, which is beautiful to teach them. Um, yeah, the educational piece is a huge one that I was like a teacher, but I got a chance it's not like a restaurant per se of like, hurry up and do this. People are coming to me looking to have fun and looking to learn. And yeah, how do you combine fun and entertainment and education and get stuff done too?
Mm.
And I learned I have a natural knack for that. I have a natural knack to just see where people are at and see their natural maybe gifts, unlatent gifts, and to play around with that. Like, ooh,
Mm.
you like mixing things? Hey, have you ever made a dressing? No. Put this and that, and then taste it and then play around with it. And then
Mm.
like, whoa, that tastes good. How did I do that? Like, all right, now you know how to do that. So do that 10 times now. So you'll master that. So that's your craft. So you know that. And
Mm.
then now that's their thing. When they go home,
Mm.
like I do, I make smoothies, I make dressings, I make soups. That's their thing.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I love it. The creative side of it. Yeah. Um, so I want to know a bit more. What would you say is the biggest thing that's changed for you, either physically, mentally, emotionally since you made this shift? And you said that you changed your own diet first, right? This change happened within
Yeah.
you, and now you want to help inspire other people. I'd love to know about what's the difference between then and now around your health overall.
Wow. That it's so much night and day. I hope I can remember all the things 'cause it's so vast. Um, it's hard to say where I was back then because now this is my reality so much, like, you don't see yourself grow. Um, only everybody else can like, oh yeah, you're so much taller, you're here, whatever, So what I did notice trying to fix my health or up level my health was definitely a chore. Even though it was like, exciting on some levels though, but it was like more of a chore to do all the things. There's so much to put in your body. I have noticed when you're out in nature, it's easier. Everything is natural. It is like you don't have to check the water, chlorine, it's rainwater. The food is so much cleaner and healthier. There's no fast food around you. You can't get to it.
Mhm.
So what I've noticed in my body, I'm naturally like, first thing in the morning, I used to be so hungry. Right when I woke up, I had to eat this big, huge meal. Now I could have my herbal tea, some fruit, smoothie and be fine for a little bit. And noticing like the body, you can notice how things sit in your body. You notice where it's at in your body. You notice digestion, it flows through you. You can absorb more. And this is the over 3 year period. It's not like a night and day thing, like overnight. This is literally just doing this, living this lifestyle over 3 years. There's a lot of demineralization in our soils. So a lot of food does not have the vitality, the power it once did. So eating foods that we literally grow with our own compost and mineral rich soils, you start to remineralize your body. And I've noticed that I don't even need like that much. I do, obviously I drink water, but like I'm more hydrated. I stay hydrated. Water doesn't like pass through me. So that was a profound thing actually. Sleep. I go to bed early, but I get up super like 3 o'clock in the morning. I usually get up to like, time differences. So I get very deep sleep and I don't need a lot of sleep. That's one. And my mood is just generally like more balanced. I used to be like super like can get super high elevated emotions though, but then crashes. Now I'm just like, I'm generally just at peace all the time. Yeah, that's a big one. Uh, this doesn't really recognize with like my food, my diet, but just my emotional well-being and community. I've got a chance to really work on my emotional intelligence. And yeah, it's stopped about being me against the other person, but how are we unifying at all times? It's not, I don't take things personally. Usually it's never personal. So that's a big mark of the journey. I don't take things too personally, very rarely. So yeah, that emotional work is really powerful in community.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I answered that question.
Oh
Right.
yeah, you answered it beautifully. I love it. I think that that's an important question because I think a lot of people who, myself included, because I haven't definitely haven't been the most healthy person around eating. Like I feel like I've always had a very like strong mental health, always, but physical health I've definitely not always had. And so I was also really excited just for myself because I'm still not perfect in how I eat and all of this. And but I've been definitely making some changes lately, and it's perfect timing that this episode comes because yeah, so I feel like I'm part of that audience that needs to hear what you're saying. And
Yeah.
I've always wondered because I've always wondered what would it be like if I was to change my diet to go vegan or to just just eat like really healthy because I haven't always done that. And And
Hmm.
I don't know what that would even feel like because I've never done it. So I think that I feel okay because this is what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
used to. I've always felt this way. But imagine what if it's like it's kind of like you don't know until you experience
yeah.
it what it could feel like, you know?
I like how you stated that, and it gives me more context too, because like there is like an unknown and what it look like, and for my now I can kind of retell that story, and for me, some people have to do like this dramatic switch, which in a weird way I did because I lived in Hawaii from that, but I was already changing my diet already. So those slow switches when I was back in mainland, I would just do like, hey, I started with a glass of water. I would drink my water and then whatever else, I don't really put guilt on myself. And I think
Mm,
guilt is a huge thing when you're trying to do something like, oh, I messed up. I messed up. Well, literally you're creating chemicals in your body when you're shaming and guilting yourself. So even if when you do put stuff in your body, it's not actually as productive. And that's actually science right there. Now they're
mm,
actually seeing that how the absorption of minerals happen and like these emotions can have anti-inflammatory effects to the body. It's really fascinating. If you know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, you should
mhm.
look him up. He is amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, and someone once told me a long time ago, like add the good stuff in and the bad stuff will eventually flood itself out because you can only consume so much in a day. You can't
Mm,
keep on consuming that much, like 24 hours in a day. So like, and then I would push the needle a little bit more. Like, okay, I drink the water, right? Well, maybe let me add a green smoothie. And then, when that's on, maybe I'll add, I don't know, a salad or banana smoothie. I was loving those. And then you just kind of keep on adding things in and not really, really too worrying about like putting things out. They'll naturally fall away from your body over time because like I said, your body will start to one crave all these things naturally when it just floods, you're flooding your body with more and more and more stuff. You're like, oh, I ate that fast food and it didn't sit too well. You can only do that so many times to like you'll really get it,
mm,
Like, ooh, dang, here I know I'm gonna eat this fast food again. I know it's gonna suck. And then you're like, oh, why did I do this to myself? And eventually stuff starts to like, actually, you know what? Maybe every once in a blue moon I do that. But like, see, you're just adding your reservoirs of health.
mhm.
Um, and that was a huge switch. I was doing that and then really going into the jungle. Then it really pushed it away. Like it was difficult to go to town if I really wanted that snack food. I'd have to really try to go. And sometimes I did. And that was okay. So like at the end of it, like I had no desire to like do that as much. Maybe I'm not gonna say I'm not perfect, but like yeah, it's very rare that I'll like want to some snack food or junk food.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Amazing. So can you tell me a little bit more about when you say returning back to nature, because
Hmm.
may all be your bio says may all beings return back to nature, and you mentioned it earlier,
Hmm.
and I absolutely
Hmm.
love that. Uh, can you tell me more about what that means for you?
Mm. Oh, wow, that's such a yeah. One second, I'm just gonna.
Take your time, no worries.
All right, cool, got it. All right, maybe beings all return to nature. Yes, there's so much in that, and I don't know how deep I want to go with that. Maybe just go all the way deep. I don't know, because like
Do
I
it.
almost kind of like not set people up, because it's a set up path to something so much deeper, so much grander. But I know some people aren't right quite ready to go that deep.
Oh,
But
we can go as deep as you want to
so,
go. Don't worry.
all right, so I, I feel like we live in an artificial world of our own constructs. Like we live in boxes. We look at boxes. We live in boxes. All about a box enclosed, and that's like nowhere in nature is a box in straight lines. But somehow we put ourselves in all these boxes, even mentally and emotionally in boxes. Like this is the way. In no way, there's always there's gray. There's not black and white anywhere in nature. Even when the sun is setting, it doesn't get dark instantly. it's set slowly, you know? So we put ourselves in all these boxes, and I acknowledge that that is totally unnatural. Well, when you go into natural settings, you get to re-experience what's all around us. You get to fall back in harmony with your home, which is the planet Earth. Like, and they have actually measured that, you know, there's like a frequency of this planet. Like when you go outside, when you get in water, when you walk on the beach, you fall back within those rhythms, those natural rhythms of things. So there's, and that's just on a frequency level. But within that frequency, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual aspect of yourself can reharmonize to that's just baseline. That is just the baseline that we should be at all times. We're not even cultivating yet. So when I tell people to go back, return to nature, I'm talking on all levels. And of course, there's insights. There's the natural food, the water. There's how you look at like the animals of this planet, all those things. But I see if I can direct people to that natural setting, all other things will fall back into harmony.
That's beautiful. And I can see where you can go so many directions with this statement. Being the spiritual people that we are, I'm thinking, oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's so deep.
Yeah. I love that you're talking about frequencies right now because what's the podcast name?
Yeah, exactly. You saw that. I was like, I want to catch this one.
I love that. That's really beautiful. You know, and at the end of the day, the first thing I thought of when I read that, for me, that means we come from nature, we're born, and we die, and we go back into nature. And that's just like when you zoom out, that's what happens in your life. That's the cycle of it. And I think it's so beautiful because same with, it's almost like it mirrors the food that we eat. It's like almost the same thing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You start to see those like when you get in nature, you start to see like what is it called? Like those fractals and everything. You start to see the similarities, like, you know, you can see a whole life in a flower, or the whole existence in a flower. You know, if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And of course, the nose that smells, I guess.
Yeah. It's beautiful stuff. So, what is your vision for your life and for the world? These can be different, or they could be the same.
Ooh, yeah, the vision for my life in the world. Well, the vision for my life at this current moment in time, and I think we're definitely evolving, and like I said, hard to define somebody. And there's definitely chapters, but as I see it now, to be as free and loving and connected to myself and to all the people I resonate with. And that looks like for me, it looks like for me traveling. It seems for me to cook food from the land and offer it to people, to learn, keep on learning and do things like we're doing right now, talking conversations, like open conversations with no blame or judgment. Cause it's so lacking in our, world right now. Yeah. And to be able to like not have to change at all, but grow just really just being myself. And of course, you know, growing, but yeah, just being myself. And I'm enough for this world.
It's beautiful.
And so I guess, yeah, I do. I wish I could offer that to the world, and just being like a lighthouse that's possible, that I am thriving emotionally, spiritually, yeah, physically and financially. I think that's a big part that a lot we don't want to talk about, even though, like I said, it's a small part. But a lot of people say, "Oh, for me to make money, I have to do X, Y, and Z. I can't live a life if I don't do these things." You know, I believe that I'm not trying to be a millionaire by all means, but I believe that I can have a sustainable life doing what I love to do. So yeah. I want that for the world, that we can be a fully balanced human, which I don't think we even know what that is totally, because it's been so lacking in this world. And I do look to older cultures that do live close to land and seeing just not that maybe replicate it, but just peer into their cultures to see one, they're happy. um, they take care of their elders. They have a space for the young, the old, and everybody in between in these spaces. So yeah, we can learn so much from other cultures. But
Mm.
yeah, that's what I want to offer the world: a lot of connection, unifying, and just freedom, love.
Mm. And I want to point out something that I heard from you, which was you you said, I wish I could bring that to the world. I wish I could be this embodiment for the world. And I just want to acknowledge and say that you are that. It's not that you could be that, you already are that, and I see it. And so I just wanted to say that to you. You're already doing
And
that.
thank you so much. And that's a aspect that I'm not have not mastered and got very well. I'm better at it, but like that self talk is so important. And when you surround yourself with good people that really love you, they can be that mirror for you, and they can like, hey, I love you, and you know, you just said that, right? It's limited. Thank you so much.
I'm notorious
Yeah.
for pointing out people's like language and conscious language because I'm huge on conscious language. I always have like my mom and my auntie like, pointing out my conscious language. So I'm like and it's like it can probably get annoying for people sometimes because I'm like, oh, by the way, I hear you saying this word a lot, and it actually energetically like that's not really what you want. But
But you know how powerful that is though? If they like say like, yeah, help me out with that. You know, and sometimes maybe not, but if they like fully acknowledge like, hey, I'm wanting to grow. Would you help me put that out? And it might feel uncomfortable sometimes or even annoying, but whoa, that's a lot of growth. That's
mm,
amazing.
yeah.
Like I'm definitely here for it. I'm here for the growth. I'm here for the evolution. So
Yeah.
yeah. Because like yeah, we
Uh,
like, you know, our thoughts, our patterns, our words, our actions, our behaviors, our reality.
oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
literally, I'd say, the biggest message that I love to share with people.
Oh.
That I just like when anybody asks me about my podcast or about or like what my vision is, like I feel like the root of what I truly believe. If I could remember, like I ask people sometimes, like if you die tomorrow and or whatever, when you died, if you're reincarnated, what is one thing that if you could pick one thing to remember from this life, what would it be? For me, it's the law of
Mm,
attraction. It's that your thoughts, your
mm,
beliefs, your perceptions are your reality. Create your reality. It's so
mm,
powerful. And it's the entire reason that I have the abundance, the success, everything that I have in my life is because of that. And it's because I learned
mm,
that at such a young age that that is literally my subconscious mind is creating everything for me because it's so natural.
mm,
And so I'm beyond grateful for that belief.
I
So I'm glad
like
you brought it up.
no, I like that how you frame that. You know, people at this point, people like, oh yeah, lava attraction. And can you hear me? I'm
Yep,
at, right, but
you're good.
all right, cool. Um, it's a whole journey. And I think it's advertised as, oh, think thoughts and then you have everything you want to. For me, it's been this like a whole process and seeing and peeling back the layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of the, the programming that I've been indoctrinated to of like, no, I'm not worthy enough or stuff I just picked up just unconsciously. Like, whoa, why would I would always used to joke around how like dumb I am or how silly or in a bad way I am. I'm like, why would I tell myself that? Like, where did that come from? And then
Mm.
you see how like for me like so finances it's a good one. I saw how like well I would just take whatever. I was like well just pay me whatever.
Mm.
And then there was a beautiful person that like no Terry how much do you want us to pay you? I was like oh this whole energy just kind of came up this like this almost brought me to tears and like whoa what is that all about? Like literally, I have a beautiful
Wow.
human that wants to just gift me for my services, however much I want to be paid for it, and I'm
Mm.
having all this reaction, and that like just shedded layers right there.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So it's a journey. It's just peeling these onions, these layers from what we want and how we define ourselves. So yeah, we are attracting all of it.
Mm. Love it. It's really powerful stuff.
Hmm.
Mm. Well, and I'd love to hear about your community health reset and any other things that you're offering the world right now that you want the community to know about.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, community health reset. Those are so fun. Yeah, I would. So I love community, obviously, and there's so much power in community. We can do these things by ourselves. There's an aspect that we need to like define what we want, and no one else can tell us that. But when we know what we want, say if we want more help, and going into groups with people is so powerful that the community elevates everybody. We're greater together than apart. And yeah, I've been hosting community health resets for a little bit now to gather people together and hopefully coming into real time and space, but it's online now, where I offer minerally grown mineral rich grown superfoods that, like I said, the soil has been so depleted, but there are good soils out there. It's hard to find
Mm.
that we can take these superfoods in our body and really, for amount of time, flood our bodies with powerful nutrition to really just let go of all the old crap and detoxify all the old stuff that's been in us emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and really elevate. And really not saying like that's it, but like just to get you started on that path and that journey together in community. So yeah, I mean, I have links in my Instagram, which is Natural Mystic 09. Look me up on IG. It's great. And hit me a DM if you want any questions. But yeah, I have links to tell you what it's all about, and how powerful the community is.
Excellent. Yeah, I will link your Instagram for sure, with the and your link tree with the
Hmm.
episode.
Hmm.
That sounds amazing. I'd love to
Hmm.
join.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, is there anything else you're feeling called to share with the audience?
Hmm.
And if not, it's okay. But and you can take a minute to,
No, yeah, I'm just
What
thinking.
Kelsey and I did when she was, and I love this, and I want to start doing it more on my episodes. Is she got the audience to we all, her and I, and the audience to like take one big deep breath together. And I
Hmm.
think that this is a good time to do it when I ask this question because it gives you a minute to just like center and get more clear and just if anything comes to you in that moment, then it's kind of gives you
Hmm.
a moment to have that. So if you want, we can do that now. And then I'll give you
Yeah,
a
it's
minute.
like,
If there's anything that
yeah.
comes to you, any question, and sometimes I like to end episodes with a question. I apologize, it's getting a little loud where I am, but I like to end with a question to get the audience thinking in some sort of
Mhm.
way. Like, how can they take into their life? How can you take into your life what I'm learning about myself, or whatever it is that
Mm.
I'm saying right now? How can you take this into your life? And so it's I find questions to be very powerful because it can get them thinking in different ways. So if anything comes to you, great. Otherwise, no worries.
All right. I got too
Yeah,
many
but
things to think. Yeah. So yeah, let's take a breath.
yeah, let's do it. All right. One long breath, or however many you do.
Mm.
That's
All right, got
amazing.
it.
All right.
If money was not part of the equation at all, what would your life look like? What would you be doing every day? How would you want to feel? How would you want to be? How would you want to affect the people around you if money was not a part of the equation?
Powerful question. I love that. I think my version of that question that I ask people a lot is, if you could wave a magic wand, what
Hmm.
would you wish for? What would it be that you wish for?
Hmm.
If anything was
Mm.
possible, because I think a lot of people put constraints on what it is that even when it comes to thinking about their vision for their life, there's
Yeah,
always these constraints of money often is the first one,
yeah.
and
I
just
still have
possibility.
those. I still
Mhm.
have those constraints, and then that question obviously like kind of pulled me back into like right where the rubber meets the road of a limiting belief. I want to do this, but if money wasn't a part of the equation, how would that look? But I know I only have this. No, Terry, this literally is a limiting thought. How, if you didn't exist, what would you do? And then do that.
Mhm. Yeah, powerful stuff. I think that you definitely planted some seeds, no pun intended,
Preach.
in the audience. Uh, yeah, this has been such amazing conversation. I'm really enjoying I'm enjoying your presence, your energy, everything you're putting out into the world. I'm truly inspired by you. I'm so grateful for Kelsey to have introduced us. And
Mm,
I'm just really excited to see what miracles you just keep creating in the world. Just keep following your light. Like, you're
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. You are amazing too. Reflections.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and seriously, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, even though you barely know who I am or anything. Like, thank you for thanks for giving me your time. It was excellent. This
Yeah.
is so wonderful. And yeah,
Yes.
just thank you so
I
much.
surround myself with beautiful people and I can see you're awesome.
Thank you so much. Terry, it's been a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I would absolutely love it if you could leave me a review on iTunes and also Spotify or wherever you're listening to the podcast through. And what I will do is, for anybody that leaves me a review and sends me a screenshot through Instagram, I will personally send you my 30+ hour playlist. This playlist is very special to me. It has been crafted by me for the last 3 years, and I've never met a person who does not love it. And this is just another way that we can be beautifully connected through creativity. So send me a picture of your review. My Instagram is Friendly Frequencies, and I cannot wait to share this music with you. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening and for supporting me along this journey. I appreciate you. I love you. And have a good one. I'll see you next week.